So, you've been thinking about catching up to One Piece, but you have a slightly, very lengthy problem on your hands. Pause. No pause, because this is serious. This is a serious issue. How long One Piece is. Yes, it's over 1,100 episodes long. Over 1,100 episodes long, and that's way too long for most of us to take.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell.
Pause. So, today I'm trying to definitively answer how long that is in real time to catch up to. And if you are curious, please stick around to the end because I have an answer for every single one of us. Are you watching the show? Are you reading the manga? Do you want to play all of the games? Except I won't be answering that question because nobody gives a fuck about One Piece games. So, on to the maths. Now, like I said, we have some preliminary questions that need to be answered. Are you reading the manga or are you watching the anime? How much can you read or watch in a day? And will you be watching the filler or movies? Now, let me tell you right now, should you be watching the filler? Probably. Will you be watching the filler? That's up for you to decide, but I've got an answer for you either way. And now for the real questions. Are you watching the manga? Watching the manga? You fucking stupid! Reading the manga or watching the anime? And what is your status? Because those are the real questions that we need to answer. Okay? Whether or not you're watching the films or not doesn't matter, okay? I'm not even going to be answering that question. I lied at the beginning. But whether or not you're employed or not, that's going to make a big difference, okay? Whether or not you go outside and you grind a 9 to 5 and you work hard for that paycheck and you spend 8 hours of your day, every single day, depressed, waiting to go home, and then you go home and you're too tired to do anything, so you can only watch 1 hour of anime a day. Or if you've got nothing else going on with your whole life and you just want to spend 6 to 8 hours a day reading or watching One Piece, those are going to be key factors into whether or not you will be able to catch up in 3 weeks, say, or a full year. We don't know yet. Bear with me, I'll answer that question for you. And so, on to the maths. Now, if you're reading the manga, you can read, in theory, anywhere between 3 to 12 chapters an hour. Where do I get this number from? I got it from Google. Do I trust Google? No, because there were some nerds on there saying that you can read anywhere between 9 and 12 chapters an hour. What the hell are we talking about? What are you reading? These guys are reading fucking Snoopy cartoons, calling them manga and saying, I read 12 chapters an hour. No, you don't, okay? 12 chapters an hour is absolutely ridiculous. You're just flicking through, you're not even reading anything, okay? You're just looking at the pictures and going, I understand, because I'm seasoned, and I know what I'm talking about. But if you can do that, I've also got maths for you, okay? So, if you're reading anywhere between 3 to 12 chapters an hour, and you can't read very well, perhaps you're dyslexic, maybe you haven't read manga before, or maybe you're just illiterate. Let's say you're reading 2 or 3 chapters an hour, right? There is, as of writing or reading this script out, or writing this script, or just making this video, or recording the video, I don't know why I didn't say that in the fucking first place, it's recording the video. There is 1,153 chapters of One Piece. We divide that by about 2.5 chapters an hour, and that takes you 461.2 hours to catch up to. That will take you about 2 hours a day. Let's say you divide the two and you end up with about 230 days. Your main problem is going to be in that 230 days. Let's say, what's that? 2/3 of a year, give or take, isn't it? 2/3 of a year. Let's say that's 9 months. In those 9 months, there is going to be about 36 chapters also released. So, you're going to have some catching up to do even once you've past those 230 days. But let's say you're a seasoned manga reader and you read anywhere between 6 and 12 chapters an hour, which again I don't think is actually possible, but here we are. I'm going to be answering to those people. The math adds up to about 1,153 chapters, and you're dividing that by 9 because we're taking averages here, and that will take you about 128 hours to do. And you do that 2 hours a day, you should only take you about 64 days. So that's actually not that bad. So if you are not actually reading the manga and you're just looking at the pictures, it will take you about 2 months to catch up. In which case only 8 chapters will have come out, and apparently you could do that in an hour. So, why have I gone with 2 hours a day? Well, I'm assuming that you're employed, and if you are employed, could you do more? No, I will tell you this from experience. If you leave your house bright and early in the morning, you get home in the evening, and you say to yourself, I'm going to spend more than 2 hours of my day reading manga, I hate to tell you this, but you're probably not very good at your job. Your colleagues probably are talking about you behind your back because you're not very good at it, you're not trying that hard, and you're probably on the chopping block as we speak. Okay, try going outside a little bit more, get involved with the co-worker meetups, get involved with all of that stuff. But if you are employed and you recognize that fact and you can only do less than that 2 hours I'm saying, then yes, you're going to have to adjust your maths. It's probably closer to about an hour and a half. But what if you're unemployed? Well, you could definitely do more than 2 hours, and I will get to that shortly, and that math very shortly. So what if you're watching the anime? Well, as of recording, there's about 1,135 episodes of this anime. That's a lot of episodes, but if you times that by 20, which is about how many minutes there are per episode, that's going to be 22,700 minutes. That's 378.3 hours of One Piece. Now I already know what you're saying, but Yazan, what about the 6 minutes that they talk about Blackbeard at the beginning of every single episode, including the recap? Well, of course, you can adjust your numbers accordingly. That would take it down to about roughly 16 minutes per episode if we're adjusting for taking away the minute and a half for an opening, the minute for an ending, and of course that little bit where they talk about Blackbeard. It'll take you about 16 minutes to watch every episode. And of course, you could also go the ultra unemployed route and watch it in 1.5 times speed. You have to be a real degenerate to know about that strategy, as am I, and yeah, it would take you less time. But let's get to the maths. So, big things, big question that you need to answer. Are you going to be watching the filler, or are you not going to be watching the filler? How many filler episodes are there? About 94. 94 filler episodes, a really good percentage filler rate, especially if you come from Naruto, as I do. Okay. There were 50 episodes of filler in Naruto Part 1 alone. But that is about 31 hours, so it's 347 hours of non-filler content for you. So if you're watching the anime, and you're watching it with the filler, straight up, you're just going ahead and watching through. You're watching through front to back, you're not skipping anything, you're taking it all in, you're really enjoying One Piece. If you're jobless and you watch for about 2.5 hours a day because you've got to spend the rest of your time with your dick in your hand or playing video games on Discord with your e-kitten, then yeah, let's say 2.5 hours a day. 378.3 divided by 2.5 gives you 151.32 days. So it'll take about 5 months to catch up to One Piece. Not that long. You could probably catch up in reasonable time and know that the One Piece, you're not worried about the One Piece being revealed because you'll be there. If job. 1 hour a day. Okay, let's be honest, you're going to watch 3 episodes, you're going to then have something to eat, you're going to take a shower, and then you're going to get, maybe you squeeze in an extra episode, or maybe you just start doom scrolling before you go to sleep. Okay, let's be honest, it's just going to take you the flat amount. It's going to take you 378 days. That's a year. I'll be honest, buddy. I'll be honest, you're going to have to take some PTO. You're going to have to grind through some episodes if you're going to catch up in time, okay? Because you're scared. You're scared. You're like me. Alright, you're like me. You're working all the time. You're worried. You're stressed out. You're thinking, the One Piece might come out. I'm not going to be there, and then I'm going to have to kill myself. I better not miss the fucking One Piece coming out, man. I'm going to be so pissed off if the One Piece comes out. I don't know what it is, okay? So fucking fuming. Anyway, if you're not watching the filler, and you are jobless, and you're watching 2.5 hours a day, it will take you about 138 days flat. If you're watching it 1 hour a day, of course, that's going to be 347 hours. So, what if your life is in Comic Sans and you're extremely unemployed, or you're binging or rewatching? That's fair too. You could be binging or rewatching, and it's got nothing to do with your employment status. Okay, whatever you say, boss. And you've got nothing better to do, right? So you're reading the manga and you're reading anywhere between 3 and 12 chapters an hour, okay? If you can't read well, again, you got dyslexia. You haven't read manga before, or you're just slightly illiterate. I love you and appreciate you no matter what, okay? You're reading 2 or 3 chapters an hour. There's 1,153 chapters. You're doing 2.5 chapters of those. You're reading that for 2.5. There is 1,153 chapters, and you're reading 2.5 chapters an hour. Okay, how many hours a day are you going to be doing this for? If you're extremely unemployed, you've got nothing better to do, and your whole life revolves around One Piece. It's 6 hours a day. Okay, you're going to be doing 6 hours a day. That will take you 76 days. That's literally nothing. Okay, 76 days of reading 2 or 3. Chapters an hour. Granted, you're doing this for 6 hours a day, okay? You've got basically no life except One Piece. You're waking up, you may be brushing your teeth, okay? You're sitting with your cereal, okay? Cereal, just scrolling One Piece. Just this. This is the constant motion, okay? Just reading One Piece. Nothing better to do. 76 days. But realistically, if this is the type of person that you are, and you're doing 6 hours of reading manga a day, chances are you fall into this seasoned manga reader category, where apparently this mystical brand of person can do 6 to 12 chapters an hour. Okay? Let's say you're reading 9 chapters an hour. It will take you 21.35 days. Now, I will say, this is very, very impressive. If you can read 9 chapters an hour and actually absorb the information in front of you, and you can spend 6 hours a day just reading manga, I applaud you. There is a different level of degeneracy that it takes to be able to do something like this. I don't possess it, but if you do, you are a different level of beast. I applaud you. I applaud you, good sir. That's 3 weeks. 3 weeks. 3 weeks to catch up to One Piece. 3 weeks. Don't let anyone ever tell you that One Piece is too long. Hell, 3 weeks, I could take that up the bum. 3 weeks. That's nothing. That's nothing. Why is everyone panicking? Why is everyone... Why even bother? Why even get scared? Right, I'll tell you why. Because it's unrealistic, okay? You're not reading 9 chapters an hour for 6 hours a day. You're just not doing it. But if you were to, it would take you about 21 days, okay? So, what if you're watching the anime? Well, there's 378 hours, including filler, as we have previously discussed, and you're watching about 6 hours a day, which... to be honest with you, is probably more doable than reading 6 hours of manga a day. Let's be so honest. Let's be so honest. There's no way you're reading 6 hours of manga a day. You're probably being able to do watching the anime, right? Well, 63 days is probably how long it would take you to do that. Well, if you're skipping the filler or if you're cutting the filler out, that's about 57.8 days. Here's the tricky thing with One Piece. There's really not that much filler, so there's not much wiggle room here. Okay, you're either watching it or you're not. You're in or you're out. And so, to conclude, here is a big old list of everything and the amount of times it would take you to catch up to One Piece. Just the main line, okay? You're not watching the films, you're not playing the games, you're not doing any of that. This is how long it would take you. If you're a new manga reader that's not good at reading, apparently, even though this is probably the category that I would fall into, it's about 230 days. If you're so-called seasoned or skilled manga reader, it's going to be 64 days, even though I don't believe you. If you're watching the filler and you have a job, it takes you about 378 days. If you're watching the filler and are jobless, it will take you about 151 days. If you're not watching filler and have a job, that will take you 347 days. And if you're not watching filler and jobless, that's 138 days. If you're new to manga and One Piece is your personality, it's going to be 76 days. If you're a sweaty One Piece reader, it will take you 21.35 days. If you're a based filler watcher, it's going to be 63 days. And if you're a rewatcher, it would be about 57.8 days. Well, what if all of this applies to you and you're taking in all of this information and you're thinking, Yaz, how do I save even more time? Get some help. Okay, that's how I'm going to tell you. You get some help, okay? You can watch it in 1.5 times speed, okay? You're probably going to fall somewhere in the category of, based filler watcher at 63 days, right? And you times that by 1.5. Or let's say you're watching filler and have a job and you just want to save some time, 378, and you times that by 1.5, okay? It's about this long, because I don't know the maths off the top of my head. If these things apply to you, by all means, watch it in 1.5 times speed, okay? But you're going to miss all the aura, okay? Shanks walking onto Whitebeard's boat for the first time, that's not going to hit the same if you're watching it and it sounds like Alvin and the fucking Chipmunks. Watch it at a normal speed, enjoy it, okay? This is not a shitty harem anime, this is not some sort of ancestral nonsense like Domestic Girlfriend where you need to skip through it, otherwise you're going to lose brain cells. This is One Piece, let's take it in, let's enjoy it, okay? It's really long, enjoy the journey, okay? Because we both know, as much as I love this show, and as much as you probably are going to love it once you start watching it, the One Piece reveal is probably not going to be that good. There's no way, it's 1,000 episodes long, okay? There's nothing, it can't be anything that's ever going to excite us. You're going to be disappointed, but that's okay because the journey is good. Enjoy it, take it in. And hopefully in this time, in that time that you're taking it in, you've taken in the time to subscribe. Hell yeah, check that segue. I'm a professional YouTuber now. Thank you for watching, and I appreciate all of your time. Oh, fuck.